So you know what? I was looking over the last two parts, and I did both of those in one sitting. Realized that I did something really stupid there. I actually forgot one of the big things that has me excited for whenever this reaches its final stage, which is the fact that it's moddable. Basically anytime I see mod options whatsoever, I just immediately think, what am I gonna remake in this down the line? So yeah, that got me pretty darn excited the first time I booted it up because I really wasn't sure what to expect. I basically just had a name to go with it, and just went in completely blind here. So yeah, that got me pretty excited because weirdly enough, the thing that it brought to mind the most was Dink Smallwood. If you've ever heard of it. It's basically this old, I believe it was either like a SNES or Genesis game or something like that originally. But yeah, the game itself, dude, it was pretty good. That's like the long and short review of it. It's like, that's pretty good. And yeah, it starts, it ends. It was pretty funny. And it was like, what there? I wanted to see what else was new about it. And I saw this little button that came with it that was called Dink Edit, and it said, oh yeah, we can make mods for this. So later on, I went ahead and I took a peek online, and yeah, they're like, oh yeah, no, we actually have a whole website dedicated to mods and everything else. And the stuff that people did just with just rearranging the assets and things like that was absolutely insane. Like this, quite frankly, like with Dink Smallwood there, like it functioned. It had some really basic systems, but honestly, a lot of it was just like the setting. It was just like the main character is a complete idiot, and yeah. That about sums it up. It's like this guy that isn't very bright going around doing stuff. And people took that concept to the absolute limit, like to the point where you had full feature length mods coming out for this whole thing. You had stuff with ridiculous amounts of scripting. You had all kinds of goodies all over the place. So, alright. Moving on here. There was actually something I wanted to take a quick peek at here. Yeah, here she is. So if you come back to town at night, by the way, you actually can pick yourself up some grifters. So yes, we could use some hired help, but we're a tad broke. Right, so I guess that's not really going to happen. Food guy isn't available at the moment. Yeah, I don't actually know what happens if we go with no food. It's not actually a situation that's come up before. So I usually just went in and bought like a friggin' metric crapload of cheese. So, what, does everybody fight worse? Do we just straight up die? What's the deal? Honestly, I would like to see a kind of thing where, you're basically getting a percentage off your character's health for every fight or something. There's actually something Wasteland 2 did with this mechanic that could probably work here, in that regard. Where you basically just had your water in the background at all times, but, even though it usually wasn't an issue, it became an issue on some of the longer trips. So you basically would just keep losing health off your characters, just losing off their max health instead of healing. So yeah, stuff was all nifty like. Alright, we gonna have music for this one? I hope so. I like the random music. I don't know why it just doesn't seem to want to show up lately. Oh wait, there it is. Yeah, it's playing. Actually, the random music in this kind of reminds me of Legend of Dragoon, of all things. That pomp-a-tomp-a-tomp kind of thing. Just, you put it in a different order, and it honestly could be pretty similar. Because for that one, it's a lot of the same instruments, but it's like do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do kind of a thing. God, Legend of Dragoon is so freaking awesome. I don't know what it is. More RPGs need to have guitar riffs, that's for sure. By the way, one mechanic I'd like to see adjusted a little bit is it would be nice to be able to turn these guys around after their turn is over, because I have a tendency to go and automatically click onto the next party. It's not really what you're supposed to do there, because it does give you the little radial thing to tell you, hey, it's time to pick a direction. But I always have a tendency to just immediately click on the next party. So hopefully, hopefully that can maybe be adjusted after the fact. Seeing as it's your turn anyway, it's not like adjusting the direction would be that much of a technical advantage. It would mostly just be a technical one. Alright, let's have you guys go over here. I need her party to be a little bit better. When I was going and testing to make sure the recording was working, she kind of got herself curb stomped repeatedly for being in the front line. What I'm probably going to do is have her take one level as the cadet, and then probably move her on to something a little bit more back row-ish, like an acolyte or something, if she gets access to it. So we'll see how that goes. And in case I didn't explain it terribly well last time, you basically can take 5 levels as each class, and when you get to the last level, you basically get everything the class has to offer. But yeah, it's what was I going to say here? I'm kind of mind blanking today. It's certainly one of those kinds of days. Hasn't been a fantastic morning, but anyway, point being, if you're going for multi-classing and things like that, you can sometimes be better off just swapping somebody between classes several times in order to just get the kinds of stuff that you need, which you may not run into because of the whole randomization type aspect, but either way. So there we go. Get them some experience. You may notice it's running a tad janky today. That's courtesy of God only knows what, some random process. It actually runs pretty smoothly, all things considered, especially after turning off the blur. But alrighty then. Come to think of it, that should be a class, the Pet Detective. I don't know why that's suddenly coming to mind as a good idea. It's probably a terrible idea, but it'd be kind of funny to see. Alright. Are you guys almost done curb stomping that slime? Yeah, I like this music. I think we're gonna get through this without any casualties this time. So when I went and was doing a little bit more testing, I'm glad to say that since the last patch, it seems like skeletons have gotten a little bit stronger. I'm not entirely sure what was in the patch. I didn't really look at the patch notes or anything like that. Honestly, I probably should be if I'm gonna be doing an evaluation run. But I just actually didn't know that it was there. I just noticed skeletons are stronger. Noticed some of the UI is looking a little bit cleaner. So, yeah, one of those daily updates. It's looking all nifty-like. Alright, let's have you attack these guys, and then we'll be about done here. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, so it was doing a fight against skeletons. It was a fight against 2 melee squads, 2 ranged squads, and 1 mixed squad there. And stuff was going pretty darn well until one of the groups, specifically hers, ended up getting singled out by the archers. So they ended up getting really lucky, got a bunch of hits on the main character in a row, and then she wound up looking a little bit like a pincushion. Kind of that whole not having armor and sitting in the front row thing kind of turned out to be a little bit of an issue for her. Who'd have possibly thunk it? But, oh well. Now, an interesting note is that in this one, as opposed to many other SRPGs, you actually are usually better off sending your weaker squads in first, since if you want them to get level ups and things like that, you just want everybody to participate rather than actually get a kill. I think it's like 5 extra experience if you end up getting the kill. But everybody still gets experience for participating, so you're better off letting everybody get as many actions in as possible, rather than actually getting as many kills in as possible. So that's sort of a thing. Like right now, I'm gonna let the spike continue on. If these guys retaliation kill these blobs, whatever. But I'm gonna go ahead and just let them sit there for the moment. Yeah, it looks like that's exactly what's gonna happen. I don't know why they didn't go for the weaker squad there. So as far as the AI... Oh, okay, so we got a bunch of slime, yay! Kinda need better stuff, but I guess that'll do for now. Throat's a little dry today, it's just one of those kinds of days. Alright, so... let's go ahead and move on here. Did anybody get any levels out of that? Not really. Alright, so it looks like we're hitting daybreak here. Alright, do I want to go fight these guys? What are we looking at party-wise? Looks like it might be... soldiers and wolves, I guess? Let's take a peek. All right. Let's see. If you're wondering what I'm doing here right now, by the way, what I want to accomplish is I want these guys to get a little bit more money, and go and unlock some of the more advanced classes. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think I might have to wrap it up there for the moment. So I will be right back.